Hey, what's up, guys? This is same old G. It's been a long time. It's been a really long time. First off, I wanna give a big shout out to Shauna. Shauna is back, and he means all kinds of business. So what's up, man? I'm glad to see you again. I'm glad to listen to you again. I got a new phone, so you might gonna see me really close to the camera. This is the same setup that it used to be, but it's just that I don't know. It looks like the camera, it doesn't have the same kind of focus built in it. So anyway, it's been a long time since I vlogged, and this video is gonna be about about that, and it's really linked to RPG and the whole thing. Maybe I'm gonna make a two-parter. So let's make it a two-parter. Let's first talk about what the deal is here. So I've listened to Emergent Play, Tabletop Superhighway, recent video with Todd from the Gencast. So they kind of make they made this they made like a team podcast where so they posted on their each other's podcast website, and it's about are we RPG assholes? And they discuss something that is really close to me, because I've been really guilty of it. And I remember last year when Emergent Play and I went to PAX East, we discussed that a whole lot in the car. And so, man, when I've listened to this podcast of yours, I was like, damn, man, yeah, so it's so true. And the topic is, are we RPG assholes? It's about the zeal that you get when you find out about indie games. Because I told him in the past, I said, man, to Emergent Play, I said, have you noticed that a lot of gamers, I was not talking about the indie guys or whatever, but I was like, a lot of gamers, they kind of assholes about their games, about what they play and how they play, and a lot of people in the podcast, they have this contemptuous or really condescending tone to how they talk about other kind of games and stuff like that, and it's really hard not to be guilty of that. It's really hard. It depends on who you are as an individual. I mean, there's all kinds of people out there with all kinds of personalities and education and cultures and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm not talking about you guys who are really cool and really nice to each other and stuff like that. I'm talking to maybe the more normal people. Like, I'm gonna talk about me, but it's out there. These guys, they discussed it, they pointed out, and they really break it down really well. So it's the latest. If you go on Tabletop Superhighway, I think Tim posted the link in the RPG Brigade Facebook page recently. Go there, listen to the last one, the most recent one, with Todd from Gencast. So the whole idea is that on the Forge and in the community of the indie games, the people who play indie games, and it goes both ways, you have, because it's two group, you have your traditional gamer and you have your indie gamer kind of thing, and dividing them, it's not necessarily a good thing to do, but it's out there, it's there. And the whole thing is that it's there just because indie games are kind of like a reaction to those traditional games, so it create that effect where you get into the hobby by the traditional game for most people, and then you have a lot of issues with these games, and then you hear about the indie games that kind of solve those issues. You try and you realize that they solved those issues. You know, like all kinds of issues, agency, shared narration, narrative control, all these things. You know, GM-less, GM power, railroad, you know, all that. So you're like, this is the mecca. Like, this is what I was looking for. I don't understand how come people are still playing those traditional games, man. They should play indie games, and like it solves all their issues. And I've been guilty of this, like, big time. And I kind of knew it in the back of my mind. I kind of knew it, you know. But I was caught up. I was caught up in the whole thing. And I feel so bad about it, you know. I feel so bad about it because I went through all the steps, you know, like all the stages. I got into indie game by Burning Wheel, and it's a friend of mine like gave me the book, like gave me it as a present, and I was like, oh, I was so just because it was a present from a friend. It meant so much to me, so I became like super interested in Burning Wheel, and then I played it, and I'm still playing it, and I was like, damn, this is the best game. It does everything you need to do, and I got caught up in this is the only game thing, you know, and they discuss it in the podcast, and I was like, man, they're talking about me. It's like, this is what it is. I mean, I've been guilty of it. Obviously, they were not talking about me, but they were talking about the people that get caught up in that one game, and then they become super zealous about it. And the thing is that I did it. If you remember the last channel, the last videos, I'm so glad I erased them all, because that was the stuff I didn't like about me, you know. At the end, I was like discussing this, and I was condescending about other games, and I was like, Jesus, wake up, guys. And this is wrong. I mean, this is not a good attitude to have. And but it got me to thinking, because I this is the first stage. The first stage is like, geez, I'm never gonna play this game again, you know, like and then you keep digging and going, and then there's some other stages, like then you have the stages where these people will never understand, so fuck it, you know. They're gonna keep playing their games, and they're gonna have the same issues for 25 years, and then you become kind of like, not arrogant, but kind of like cynical about it. And that's where you kind of accept the whole thing. But they say something really interesting in the podcast, is that gaming culture is really local. Gaming style is really a local thing. It's the stuff that you do with the group you play with and the people you hang out with. But when you bring that online, this is where it becomes messed up. And man, I'm so glad they did this podcast, man. It helped me realize all kinds of things. Is that when you are in your group, with your friend, playing face to face, there's no issue at all. There's no problem. You just deal with people, and you do it, and you have fun, and you play the game like the way you want to play, and it's all good. But then when you start bringing the thing online by vlogging about it, by blogging about it, by podcasting about it, or whatever, all kinds of issues starts emerging. And this is where it becomes the old zeal thing, because you're confronted with other people's ideas. And then you start listening to each other's vlog, and you start listening to each other podcasts, and you start reading each other blog, and you're like, this is so wrong. This is so wrong. You got it right. And then it starts to bring that grief. Not a grief, but I don't know. I don't have lots of words for emotions in English, but it's like you start to just not hate the individual, but hate the whole culture around these kinds of ideas that they promote. So it's like when it becomes online, it becomes more universal, and so you meet all kinds of ideas that you will never see locally. So it starts to bring out this weird emotional reaction to these videos or podcast or blog, and then it creates segregation because you don't want to hear about these things because you dealt with them, and when you find the game that solved them, you don't want to see them anymore. You don't want to have to deal with these ideas anymore. So, but since you're already online, in this community online, it kind of messed up with the activity of vlogging or blogging or podcasting, because you end up not listening to these people and just focusing on your stuff. And so it creates these weird kind of communities where we understand everything and you don't, so fuck off, you know? And it's, it's really, really, really insidious. You don't see that coming, but you end up realizing you've been doing it, you know? So the first time I realized that this explained really well why I felt so bad about the last channel, and why I decided to just, since I solved all these issues I was talking in my 300 or 400 something videos, I was like, I just don't need those anymore. It just doesn't represent me well. And the last videos were really cynical and zealous and mean. So I was like, fuck it. Erase that, and I'm so glad. But now, I see that it's, I end up not knowing what to do anymore with the old vlogging thing, you know? So I don't know if it's gonna be a two-parter, because I'm already talking about it, but you know, this is the point. I haven't been making videos for a long time now, a couple of months, and I make this video now because I feel like I can talk about that. I don't know if I want to keep going because what am I supposed to say? Every time I'm gonna speak about my taste and the stuff I love, it's a dead end because it's about taste. Every time I'm gonna speak about theory, the only kind of theory I endorse is the indie games approach, because the traditional approach has all these issues with it. So I don't care, I don't mind. It's so obvious to me. I don't care, I don't mind about that. So I'm gonna end up just talking to myself. It's just gonna be like this. And this kind of masturbation kind of thing, where people who think like me are gonna be going like, yeah man, yeah, and I don't care much. I don't need much of that. And then people who don't think like me, they're gonna feel, like I said earlier, they're gonna feel a little like I'm attacking them, or either and I've been dealing with that a little bit. And they're gonna feel like I'm attacking them, or they're just gonna throw at me their taste, and I don't care. So I don't see what I can do with this activity anymore. It's just so weird. I've been and I kind of feel bad with myself that I've been caught up in that loop of taste and theory mixing together with enlightenment kind of thing, where you start to understand stuff, and the people you've been interacting with, they just don't get it. And all kinds of stuff that come back with that, like, hey, you should try it, I don't care. And then you're like, why, man? Why don't you care? You know? And then I used to watch all kinds of videos. but recently I realized that I don't watch most vlogs anymore, much vlogs anymore, because they repeat all kind of issues that I'm done with. Anyway, man, it's just I don't know what to say. I know it's super honest. This vlog here is super honest. It's super really same OG style, and I would love to keep going talking about RPG, but I see that it's gonna be either to talk about the games I love and become just this big taste thing. Theory becomes some kind of a dead end, because sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Ah, man. Anyway, so I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'd like to hear what you guys think about this analysis of the old vlogging activity. Obviously, I'm talking about my experience here. So if you haven't fall into that trap I felt in, maybe you're not gonna be able to relate. But I'd like to hear what you guys think. I'd like to hear what your thoughts on this, and the vlogging, and this kind of grieving that comes with it, where you realize that you are interacting with people who doesn't have the same understanding and same interest in what your journey is and stuff like that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, and yeah. Maybe I'll see you soon.